Hello and welcome to Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenore, and today I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. As you can see, we have them out. We are ready to go. I want to get started because you know I'm going to be rambling. I'm going to be going on and on. Now, I want to look right down here. We have a very clear image, in my opinion, of a deer, probably a buck, a stag, um, a masculine, developed, warrior-esque, courageous valor, all the things, right? We have a person standing right here, okay? Behind here, we also have another person standing. It looks like a fire, like a campfire maybe. And we have fish. We have the number 31, it looks like. I'm going to write that down. We have 31. Okay, so my first instinct is that we are having I don't want to say it's like a spiritual moment, a spiritual crisis, a spiritual revelation. These, I just have to apologize. The flies. There's so many. I don't want to apologize. I'm just going to explain. I live near a lake. Okay, so we just have so many bugs, right? And I don't spray, so you're just gonna have to put up with them. I'm sorry. I keep wanting to say I'm sorry. I'm not sorry for nature. I'm not. In fact, I love her. She's a total babe. But yeah, they're gonna be around. So we have a spiritual happening. Let's just call it a spiritual happening. A emotional, and it's in the mental as well. I mean, it's really fully like a shift in, I feel like, the way that you want to live your life, or taking the initiative in some way to begin on that path. Okay, and I don't necessarily mean like this is a self help type of thing, or like a I mean, it's all self development, but this is like a very practical allowance that you're making for yourself, and that even sounds you're advocating for yourself to yourself, okay? um and it could be something, and this may sound simple, it's not. I mean, if you've ever worked night or day, or had to do split shifts or anything like that, it's not as easy as it sounds. But this could be like you're getting to a place in your life where you have always been a night person, but you work days, and so you've had to live on the day side, and it's always been really hard for you, and you just don't feel fully yourself. And you've come into a place in your life where you're like, hey man, guess what? I'm not getting any younger, and I'm tired of conforming to a lifestyle that does not benefit me, mind, body, spirit, right? Because it's all obviously interrelated, right? So switching something fundamental in your life, the way that you're living, okay, uh, and this becomes that very spiritual moment in your life. And I think it's something where, as you're doing it, you're not even thinking of it as like, oh, this is going to be something that's really going to, like, open up my heart space and my, squeegee my third eye, and here we go. You know what I mean? Like, you're not out here like setting off the kunda, maybe. I mean, maybe you also are doing that, but I think this is almost like one of those moments where you're surprisingly moved by a change that almost feels, probably, I'm assuming, because it feels like it in the aether here, that it was like a selfish thing. Like, I'm finally doing something that benefits me instead of the whole, the family unit, the work, taking, you might be a caretaker to people, taking care of your parents or your kids or whoever, right? And you've been feeling like this kind of change in my life, this new job, this new uh, town I want to live in. Like I said, you go from being that forced day cider to that all night cider. Whatever it is, it might feel like selfish. Maybe it is. You're only getting this chance here. Now we can sit here and talk about the infinite and multiverse and different timelines and fractal all the stuff, okay? But as far as we perceive in this moment, on this, if you perceive time in a linear form, this is what we have, dude. This is what we have. Sometimes we do need to be selfish, or the perceived selfishness. And to me, this is like unlocking a part of yourself that maybe you didn't realize was, sorry to say, but so jacked up, dude. You just, um, we've all had these like moments where like we alleviate ourselves of having to do something, or maybe we like switch our the way that we eat a little bit, or I don't know, like for me it was like I started drinking water. I was like in my 30s. I started intentionally drinking. I was like, hey bro, I feel like so much better. Imagine that. you know um Staying hydrated. So I feel like, yeah, and it leads you to a place where, right, I feel like you're coming out into the world. I keep getting this like imagery of like camping, like those like Getty pictures of like a single tent next to a huge lake, and you can see the whole Milky Way, and that kind of vibe. I feel like it's like you are coming into this larger universal theater of your life. Does that mean it's like always going to be like that? I mean, that seems like a lot, right? But right now, I think you are. You're looking at the larger picture. You might be, I don't know, maybe you've gotten yourself into like an algorithm of philosophy, for me, I've been super into like, quantum physics and mechanics and reaching over into the philosophical and ontology and all this kind of stuff. And yeah, man, it changes how you are experiencing the world, doesn't it? I mean, it does. It change when you change the thread that you're looking at, the substrate, the lens, the uh, observer window. If you switch that, or you develop into another one, um, you're seeing the world differently based on a different set of rules and language, and it's like, okay, it's like going from maybe looking at the world in like a very like materialist, um, I don't even know. Like you're looking at it, I think, through the lens of, um, earth science and life science and biology and all this, and that's where it's at. And okay, right? Um, Versus seeing it maybe as, this kind of like surreal, comedy of life, and everything is very, poetic, theatrical, artistic. It's much more about impressions and less about like data, or, well, agreed upon data sets and things like that. And those are two different ways of living. Now we can have both, right? We can have many. In fact, I think that's the beauty of life. I think that's what the work of the magician really is learning as many systems as you can and weaving them dang old things together, laying them upon each other, stacking them up, and seeing what this do. What does this do? What does my universe look like? Being able to shift through lenses, right? Going back and forth and here and there. We all know this from like our home life, our private life, our going to work, you know. That's like a very surface level, thing. And we all have to do that to some degree, right? So I feel like you're getting into this place where you've shifted the way that you view the world, the way that you're experiencing the world. And it is not something that just like, whoop, snap your fingers, you're fully in a different developed world build. I mean, maybe it works like that for some people. It has not for me yet. But yeah, the sky is opening up to you. And it's scary, I'm sure. It can feel like, I don't know, I think it can feel like there's nothing solid, right? You start to question what is real, what do things mean? It gets very existential, right? While you're going through that transition, you're transmuting, you're becoming something else. You are forming a new identity that goes with it. I don't mean like a full on maybe, but, floor to ceiling. But yeah, we have to shift our personalities a little bit, our personas a little bit. It's like when you work with somebody, they like, I don't know, they go work at a different branch for like 6 months, they come back and all of a sudden they're like, I don't know, they went from whatever they were into and now they come back, they're super into like cycling or something. That's like their whole identity, you know what I mean? Not to that extreme, right? But you're changing, your priorities are different, the things that you're interested different. The big thing here, though, is that I feel like a lot of this has been you intentionally choosing to put yourself first. Now, I don't mean like just fully abandoning responsibilities or people in your life or anything. I don't feel like it's that, but I think for the first time in a long time, you're in a position. The birds are like, bro, can you hear them? I don't know if you can, but they're either fighting or they're just like, lady, chill out. I love you. Can I work? I promise I'm just, they're fighting with each other. It's not me. I'll put some nuts out later though. I love you. Can you go fight by the garden? They don't listen. Nobody listens to me. So anyhow, okay, so we're here. We're in this place. Your heart is open. We also have, let's see. I want to say, like, I want to say it's like maybe Mary, Mary. I feel like we're dealing with like Mary, Marty, maybe. Mary, Marty. Ooh, We're shifting, we're shifting. We have the letter K. K and 6,000. K and 6,000. Oh, get out of there, my friend. You're not part of the reading. So we had so much rain. There was like flash floods in the area in the last couple weeks. So we have July. We just left July. And we have the number 59. No, don't fight on me. Everybody is tripping, you guys. They are not happy out there. Somebody's next to somebody's area. Like, get away from my little tree area, my little hunting ground. So July, we have the number 59. We have like it looks like a house right here. You can see the 2 windows, the door. Now over here, it looks like maybe, I was almost thinking it reminds me of like an outdoor shrine or some kind of altar, or like maybe a cemetery, or a statue garden type of thing. There's love. There seems to be a lot of love. Now we also have the number, it looks like 3 and I. So we're going to do 3 and I. Okay. And, oops. And so I feel like there's a sense of visiting or honoring somebody who is tied to, I almost want to say that this is not the home that you live in now, but maybe like, and not when you were a child, but maybe a little older. Maybe this is in like your later teens. You lived with this person or you lived near them. It's very much tied to this like uh, adolescent, teenage, young adult era. Okay. It feels like something they must, I'm imagining that they're gone. Um, Probably have transcended their physical form, passed away. Um, and I feel like their anniversary is coming up. And I think that this is something that isn't always something that you like go out of your way for. Not because you don't think about it, but you're a busy person. You know what I mean? Like, uh, you're busy. I mean, what else can I say? The world is insane. We're all busy. We're all burnt out, you know, like, and it's, of course, we mean to honor each of our people as much as we can. And sometimes we miss the mark, right? And so I feel like this anniversary is coming up. This feels almost like it is, I don't know, it's like a place of like you're resting. I don't like that for a moment you can stop moving. I feel like there's this real like underlying anxiety that you have had where it's like if I'm not doing something, I'm not moving, I'm not getting something done, I'm not, you know, trying to fix something or build it up or whatever, like the idleness is some kind of beginning of terror. I don't know if that makes sense, but that's kind of the wordage I'm getting. And I feel like in this moment, there's almost kind of a reminder of just like slowing down for a second and maybe like trying to just enjoy. Okay. And I don't want to be that way. Like, you got to slow down and enjoy your life. Yeah. Yes. We all know. like, we know. Now, can you show me how to slow my life down? you know? Um, but I just feel like there's a moment here. You're breathing. You're I can breathe. I can breathe. I can do this. We got this. We got this. Dude, we got this. You know, I don't know. That's my little pep talk I give myself. I got it. We got it. We got this. We got this. It's going to be cool. It's all is well. That's what I keep saying to everybody about I'm like, all is well, man. Is I don't know that I believe that all the time, or it will be well. Don't worry. I know my husband's probably like, dude, I am tired of hearing that. Lenore, I am tired of hearing it. But it is. We have these moments in family life, and it's a lot of just routine stuff. Um, having a lot to get done, and we're all living this way. I think a lot of us, anyways. I'm in the young having a younger child life, not a baby anymore. But it's just a busy world. Um, these kids, man, they have so much going on. Like, I always say to Paul, my husband, and I think I know he agrees. He always is like, yeah, dude. Uh, our daughter is so busy. Like, the amount of stuff she does in like maybe a month is like everything I've done in my whole childhood. You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy how busy. But fun. I don't know. Um, it's fun. It is fun. Uh, but it's hectic. For us parents who are facilitating, dude, oh, it's a busy life. But anybody I talk to, I don't care where you're at in your life, everybody's got stuff going on, right? And and I think just I don't know, I feel like a lot of people, not everybody, I don't want to generalize. There's some cool cucumbers out there. Um, but a lot of people, it's like there's this feeling of, if I don't keep going, if I don't keep eking it out, um, my life's gonna fall apart alongside with the state of the world, and the general collective fear, anxiety, disillusion of modern society, of the modern world. uh, so, anyhow, we got to find stuff to enjoy. We got to take time for ourselves. We got to put ourselves first. And sometimes, babe, we get to a point where it's like, I don't have to get up early in the morning anymore. And you know what? I want to stay up till 4 a.m., right? I want to be in the quiet world. I want to be in the darkness, you know? I want to stay hidden in the shadows. And dang it, that's what I'm going to do. Um, anything beyond 10 p.m. for me at this point, I can't. I can't. I stayed up till midnight, I think maybe once or twice in the last month, against my will, by the way. Not against my will, but I had planned to be in bed asleep. Things just did not work out that way. And yeah, man, that's like a one day though. I mean, hopefully, God willing, right? I'll be here and able to get on the night side with y'all. All right, let's see. Let's see. I keep imagining you outside. I feel like are you going camping? Ooh, look at that. It looks like a lake bird, like a heron or a crane. or an egret or something like this. These are my thinking birds, are philosophers that like to contemplate. They just chill for a long time. I had the great honor of watching a great heron um, hunt its lunch right down in my by my yard in the lake out there in the grass. And this was a couple years ago, and I watched for about, I don't know, it was about 30-35 minutes or so of just kind of, it was hanging out looking. It would kind of move here and there, and then suddenly it struck and had its meal, and dispatched it quickly. And so, there's this interesting energy there. It feels so strong and precise. There's a potency to the ability to stay still, to wait for your moment, and then you grab, got it. You know what I mean? And so, I feel like with this changing, with this allotment of space for yourself and for your mind and your ideas and all the things, you have developed your ability to really choose to choose in your own favor and for the betterment of your will and your goals and your path and all of this. uh, and it might seem like a very bittersweet thing up against, what we're all kind of collectively facing here, but um, most necessary. There you are going to be a person that is most necessary. You already are, but most necessary for this next part of the human cycle. And I do believe that deeply. There's no mistake of why the like well, even just on a very um more like Western medicine level, psychology speaky wise, is that we've had the rise of the neurodivergent and being able to um, recognize that more widely and be diagnosed or not. It doesn't, in my mind, it doesn't really matter. You know what over time, as you become exposed to understanding different operating systems, if you know what I mean? If game recognized game. And sometimes that's about figuring that out for yourself, about yourself. All these years of like, why don't I fit in? Why can't I figure out how to do this right? Why can't, um, a big one for me was like executive dysfunction. Like, why can't I get like everything super good and organized, the system going, everything flowing, and then I have a heck of a time maintaining. Why? Well, I can't just like pull myself up by my bootstraps and get, and it's not that I can't. It's just that I wasn't understanding what I needed, what kind of um, deviations from the norm or mainstream ways of doing things. Like, I had to figure out my own way of doing stuff, you know? And I think that collectively this is happening in different ways, right? In a lot of different ways for different people. This is no mistake, I think that we're also just having more conversations about it, and that's another thing. But what I believe all of this is kind of doing is that, yeah, we hopefully, um, will stay bonded with the greater whole, with the greater collective, and, learn to maybe, I don't know, work together. That sounds so cheesy, but it really just comes down to that, right? To learn how to be beside each other, to see each other, to hear each other, to value one another. don't know, you know. Uh, I do know that something's something's happening, something's going to happen in all the different directions and in all the different ways, and you know, we got to choose where we are going to be as this is happening. You know, what functions we're going to serve, um, how we're going to live, how we're going to survive, you know, all that stuff. It's a lot. But then again, I don't know, dude. I grew up in poverty and just I grew up I grew up unparented in, you know, the late 80s, 90s, early thousands, you know what I'm saying? So as bleak as it all can be, I see that there's a lot of opportunity here. You know, people are just, I don't, we say that everybody's getting, you know, dumber or less interested in things or don't know how to do anything. I have the opposite experience. I meet people that are doing cool stuff constant, like in the weirdest places, but not where you would think, you know. Interesting ideas, motivated, not everybody, right? But and it doesn't all have to look traditionally how it, oh, I can see you've built a business and you know you're meeting all your goals and you know your life is all neatly put together, and that's not what I mean, dude. I mean people being brave enough to say, you know, um I'm just gonna create because I have to. I don't care what that looks like, right? Maybe you make professional mud pies. I don't know. That sounds cool though. Cool. Like if you could get that going, dude, do it. You know what I mean? I just think the world is so absurd and so scary for a lot of people that you know, the fool runs rampant. And I don't mean that in a bad way, man. I mean that in like be free my children, you know, do as you see fit. Because we're on the event horizon. I think that's the right word, you know? Um all right, I could go on forever. You know I can. I love you guys. Let me pick one card. It'll probably be more than one, but we'll see. One card. I want to pick you one card. Oh yeah, there we go. Uh, yeah. There's my night sider coming right out, right in the shadows. But this is so creative. It can get super demented. We all know that it can get weird up in the moon, the valley of the moon. That lunar landscape, but it's also the place that we get to create without restriction. There are no boundaries here, right? So when we pull that into our physical life, our waking world, this is a time where it's like, yeah, take those chances, dude. You know, do the things, try it out, fail, experiment, be weird, you know. Um, Also, let me say, as much as I am an artist and I am, well, I don't even like calling myself an art, but you know, I'm a creative. I'm a creative person, I guess. And I'm all about free expression. Please, just, please, just be careful. You know, whatever is coming or is going to try to come is going to reach back into time to pull out whatever it is that they can use against us. So just be careful. You know what I mean? I'm not saying uh, um, that you need to change what you're doing or you need to limit yourself or you know, edit things or anything like that. But I just be mindful. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Be mindful. Which I'm sure, you know, we've I wasn't educated about, you know, the internet, being careful about what you post and what you tell people. I'm from the olden days when um anybody who was online more than like at the library was a weirdo. Like that's what everybody thought. That anytime I would be like, "Oh yeah, I'm going to like the Bay because I'm from Northern California. Northern California. I'm going out to the Bay to go to a show. I met this chick online. She said she has like a whatever. I'm gonna meet up with her. Da 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 da." People would be like, "That's weird. What are you doing? That's crazy. Like, how do you know who that? I don't know who it is. You know what I mean? I don't know. Let's see. You know, um, I think a lot of people have learned to be a little more careful than that, and I did. Knock on wood. I was pretty unscathed, but um, yeah, dude, I don't just be careful what you're putting out there. What you're sharing with people too. That's the other thing. I feel like and I'm part of this because I just say what I say. I don't even think about it half the time anymore, but um we have really been conditioned towards transparency and the end of any kind of privacy, and this idea that if you're not keeping it real and being straightforward about all the stuff and don't front and whatever, um I just feel like that is such a psyops. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that word on here, but I did. I feel like a lot of that really is. I mean, on just to be honest, it's just like to further get you to put your data out there, your infos, And I think socially we hold people to this, and it makes sense, right? You're in a tribe, you're in a community. People need to know how you move and all this to stay safe, right? Um, but man, n- nothing is sacred anymore, it feels like, right? And I do really believe that, and it's so contradictory to how I do my readings and stuff, because I just am very honest about things and open about my life and stuff. um we don't need to tell people everything about ourselves, and we don't need to show it to people, and you have a right to having a personal life, a private life. You don't have to monetize it. You don't have to curate it. You don't have, you know what I mean? If you want to, that's fine, dude. Do you? Um, but we don't have to perform all the time. And nobody is owed SH, period. You don't owe anybody any kind of explanation or showing them anything about yourself ever. Period. So, anyways, I love you all. I love you all. I love you all. The cicadas are coming. Um, they sound so nice. I love the sound of cicadas. So, anyways, take care of yourself. We'll talk soon.